What's up, guys? Tougie here, back again. A very tired Tougie here, back again. For a quick edition of Tougie's Take Quick Hits, I guess we'll call it. A couple of things I wanted to touch up upon, mainly a little bit of house cleaning. I'm going to get right into this because I got some other stuff I got to record, but I wanted to, like I said, point some of this stuff out. First thing, been asked about recently, the Noah Hanifin signing. I talked about it on Twitter. Tremendous contract. Tremendous. Good for Calgary to get him locked up for that long, too. 6 years after the trade. That's good stuff. And the other move I was asked about quite a bit, Troy Brouwer to Florida. It's a really good cheap signing for them. Will he return to being the 30-point guy he's been in the past? Maybe even the 40-point guy? Probably not. But you factor in, maybe 20 points. The fact that he's not costing them, what, $4 million like he was for Calgary. It's a pretty damn good contract. The second thing I wanted to talk about, the fantasy leagues that I'm going to be involved in. Now, I wasn't sure how I wanted to handle this because there were a couple of different ways to go about it. Of course, you think of doing like an ESPN or a Yahoo league for hockey. The thought then becomes, well, how many spots are available? And, not everyone who wants to be involved might not be allowed to be. So the way I'm going about this, I'm doing a fantasy league for both the NFL and the NHL. For the NFL, you can clearly see it's going to be built around the weekly Pick'em League. Easy enough to get involved. Link is in the description, or you can just search Tougie24 in the group section. You will find it. So feel free to get involved that way. A Pick'em League, very straightforward. You don't draft players. You literally just pick the winner of each individual matchup, and let me just do that right then and there. Will there be a reward for whoever wins? Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? Depends on what my situation is, mainly in terms of how close we are to getting this PC upgrade. But I wanted to touch up upon that. NHL-wise, is going to be built around the Hat Trick Challenge. So we're going to have to wait as we get closer to the regular season and they fix the whole website up, because right now it's still based off of last season. But fantasy-wise, for the NFL, we have a Pick'em League, and for the NHL, we'll be going off of the Hat Trick Challenge. That said, unless you have an interest in pro wrestling, I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Go check out some other videos. NHL 19, we're almost there. That said, if you do have an interest in wrestling, but you haven't caught all in yet, stop. Don't watch the rest. Watch it. Watch it. Find a way to watch it. You should support them and pay for it, but watch it. Because holy shit, this card. Now, I couldn't find an easier way than just to scroll down through the old Wikipedia here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm just going to swoon over this event for about 2 to 3 minutes, hopefully, and then we'll move on and end this video. But holy shit. What a card. Now, my hype level wasn't through the roof. Like, I knew I was going to check out this show. I didn't think it was going to be this good. This show was damn good. This might be, I don't know if it's a show of the year contender, but if you were to tell me this is in your top 5, your top 3, or your event of the year, at, once we still got a couple months to go, but if you were to tell me this is up there, I couldn't disagree with you. Like I said, I had tempered expectations, blew them out of the water. I will say, the show got off to a little bit of a rocky start, technically. Production-wise, it was shaky. Audio quality was very shaky. The show starts off with Cody and the Young Bucks out on the stage doing some hype, doing some pyro and t-shirt cannons, and the audio is shit after SoCal Uncensored against the Briscoes, which was okay. It wasn't anything special. It was a good match. They went to cut to a video package, and you could barely hear the commentary team over the music, the theme music playing. It was a mess. It was that bad, and I was really concerned, like, oh god, because there is, there's that thought of, fair or not, people compare quality when it comes to production and presentation to the WWE. The WWE is not flawless, but it's obvious they're up here. Most indie promotions, or a one-off show in this case, I don't think people expect them to be up here, but they expect them to be like right about here, and most indie shows end up down here. And it was down here to start. Once the pay-per-view started, though, it was fucking perfect. There were a couple little blips here with the camera work, but for the most part, absolutely perfect. The audio was perfect. Midway through the show, they had to have seen people complaining on Twitter. Whenever they cut to the commentary team, there'd be lights on behind them. Towards the end of the show, they started not having the lights on directly behind them. I give them all the credit in the world. They really stepped it up in that regard. And I was extremely impressed. To go from thinking, Oh god, here we go. Indie promotion level quality audio, which in fairness does take away from it a little bit, to what it ended up being. Phenomenal, really. And I will say, in terms of the commentary team, mix, it was a revolving table for the most part, but the main three being Ian Riccaboni, Don Callis, of course, and Excalibur. Tremendous. I didn't realize Ian Riccaboni was that good. I don't know, maybe he was just being propped up by the other two who are phenomenal, but goddamn, he was great on this show too. Production-wise, no complaints whatsoever. And in-ring work, no complaints. Again, the first pre-show opener, 0 Hour, was great, and the Battle Royal was phenomenal too. In terms of, people were saying like, it's the best Battle Royal I've ever seen. I don't necessarily disagree with you. They get the payoff of Flip Gordon winning, originally dressed up as Chico the Luchador, whatever the fuck the full name was, getting powerbombed through a table by Bully Ray. I don't follow Ring of Honor, so I don't know, how big. I guess Bully Ray is one of the big, heels at the moment. Didn't know that, so that was interesting to learn. But a good moment, the good payoff from being the Elite for Flip Gordon to get the win. And again, pretty much the perfect Battle Royal in terms of everybody getting their moment. The list of other participants are down here. Jordan Grace was ridiculous. She's great. Moose got his moment. Rocky Romero was great. Colt ended up being in the final three. Of course, he got one hell of a reaction as well. Ethan Page is great. Brian Cage is great. Billy Gunn, it's fucking hilarious. Jimmy Jacobs was great. Nearly hit a pedigree. Fucking hilarious. Marco Stunt made it after, what was it, the Joey Janela's Escape from New York, or whatever the fuck the show name was called, but he looked pretty good too in his moments. The Hurricane was great. Tommy Dreamer, it was a really fucking good Battle Royal. And I'd say the white guy won. The right guy won after the match we'd get later on in the night. The official show started off with Matt Cross against MJF. Probably the weakest match on the card, but that's not a slight. It was still fine. It was good, even. But, nothing overly ridiculous, I'd say. Just a solid opener. Nothing too crazy. Good stuff. Daniels and Stephen Amell. Now, I said earlier, if you wanted to put this show in your top 3 of the year or whatever, if you want to put Stephen Amell in your top 5, top 3, top 2, or have him as your number 1 guy in terms of celebrities who have had matches, I wouldn't disagree with you. Great match. Was it technically flawless? No. And of course, on a show like this, you had people just waiting to rip apart anything and everything if it wasn't 100% flawless. It wasn't. It was still an extremely entertaining match, though. One moment in particular, Stephen Amell hit the coast to coast, which was crazy, and then there was a table bump to the outside, which was just rough, but fucking fair play to Stephen Amell. One hell of a performance. And again, when you look at, say, Ronda Rousey in her first match, when you look at D'Angelo Williams in the match that he had in Impact, anybody, really, you think that's a fucking laundry list of celebrities that have had matches, of course. He's definitely up there. The women's match. Great, and I hate to just be like, it's the women's match. It was just a really fucking good match. And again, technically perfect at some moments? No. There were clearly people waiting for Madison Rayne to just screw up something in any minute way to take shots at her. She was fine. Britt Baker was good. Chelsea Green's phenomenal. Tessa Blanchard's phenomenal too. And we got a Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard sighting, so that was good too. We also saw Road Warrior Animal at the beginning of the show with the pyro and t-shirt cannons. But I don't have too much to say aside from it was a really good match. A lot of people thought the finish was botched. It didn't look like it to me. I think it was just meant to be a really close near fall. But yeah, regardless. It's weird. In that situation, I don't have a hell of a lot to say. Nor do I have a hell of a lot to say about the NWA title match because, again, it was phenomenal. Maybe just kind of your average match, but one that was really propped up by the crowd. I give them fair play. Number one, the crowd was phenomenal all night, but for this match in particular, this is the case of bringing, and I don't like star ratings, but the case of bringing like a 3-star match up a level or 2. It was tremendous. The MMA style, walking to the ring intros were interesting, at the very least for Cody with DDP, Glacier, Tommy Dreamer, and his dog, which was phenomenal. People, again, waiting at any moment to hate on Nick Aldis. He's fine. I don't get it. Like, he works that very, traditional style, and people pick and choose whether or not they like someone that works that style at any given time. People used to say the same fucking thing about Bobby Roode, and people are like, oh, never mind, I love Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode works the same goddamn style. So, I don't know. Thought it was a great match, especially for the crowd reaction. I give them props. Hangman Page and Joey Janela. Joey Janela is not going to live to see 35. I have not seen too much of Joey Janela, admittedly. Holy shit, buddy. I am concerned for your physical well-being. Shout out to Penelope Ford, by the way, or as Don Callis called her twice, I believe, Penelope Cruz. She had a couple of moments in the match, too, where it's like, God damn, she's amazing. But this is one of the matches in particular where it's like, I could just sit here and describe some of the stuff that went on, that Joey Janela in particular went through. I can't do it justice. If you've seen the match, you know, I'd say the three main moments I'm talking about. The ladder on the outside, the stage, and the finish. They did end up working in, though, and this is where some people weren't happy, right? And it goes down to the timing of the event, because that's a big debate. They did work in quite a bit of stuff from being the Elite, and the whole angle they were working with him murdering Joey Ryan, and then Joey Ryan comes back from the dead, Undertaker style, except instead of druids, it's guys in dick costumes, which was, again, Joey Ryan's a very polarizing figure. I find him to be hilarious. Maybe it's just because I can remember watching PWG back in the day, and, you know, I've been familiar with Joey Ryan for a very long time. I didn't think of it to be an issue, and some people were complaining like, oh, that should have been cut because the main event had to go short. I was fine with it, personally. I was fine with it. The match, again, barbaric. You knew that was going to be the one match on the show that was just ridiculous and over the top, and holy fuck it was. The fact that Joey Janela's walking is a goddamn miracle. But my tip of the proverbial cap to both of them. That was ridiculous, and a shout out to Joey Ryan as well. Jay Lethal and Flip Gordon. Number one, Jay Lethal, as you can see, out with Lanny Poffo, brother of the Macho Man. Jay Lethal comes out in Black Machismo attire, which was tremendous. I was so happy. And credit to Flip Gordon, who I'm not or wasn't all that familiar with prior to this event. Flip Gordon's fucking phenomenal. Like, legitimately phenomenal. You know, in the style that's oh so common on the indies now, he does work that style. He's just really fucking good at it. Really good at it. Love this match. No complaints whatsoever for a 14-minute match. And Lanny Poffo, he broke out the Frisbees. It's tremendous. What else is there to ask for? We move on. Kenny Omega, and I'm gonna call him Pentagon. Damn. 17-minute match. I'm sure people wouldn't have minded if it went 35. Still a great match. I don't know if it's necessarily overshadowed by what happened afterwards. It was definitely the type of match where it left you wanting more. Still tremendous, though. The aftermath, obviously, though, where Chris Jericho shows up. They have the lights off for a good 30 seconds, and I'm sitting here just begging, like, come on, let this be Pac. Let this be Pac. Some people are probably saying, let this be Punk. It does make sense, though, that it is the IWGP Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho, although he shows up dressed like Pentagon and then attacks him. People figure it out pretty quickly, especially if you were watching from home. Of course, with the tattoos and everything, it was fairly easy to figure out what was going on. But still a great moment building towards the Chris Jericho cruise, of course. But again, great match, great moment with Jericho showing up. You know, him showing up on a card, you know, on a show of this magnitude is... it really does say something. Okada and Marty Scurll. Now, people really enjoyed this match, but this match is getting a lot of hate because this match apparently went overtime by a very large margin. Wrestling Observer was saying it went over by about 12 minutes. So from a 14-minute match to a 26-minute match, that cut down on the main event's time, which, as you can see, was just under 12 minutes. That aside, again, some people have been, you know, just trying to rip this match to shreds, but I don't think anyone can deny that this match was solid. This match was great. Someone in a Reddit thread on Squared Circle really summed it up perfectly, where the first, 15 minutes of the match, Okada's not taking it seriously. Marty almost beats him. Okada comes back, gets the win as he should. Marty looks great. Okada's the man. He got the pop of the night. I mean, this crowd was phenomenal, but I would say he got the reaction of the night. He and Jericho right up there. Another phenomenal match. I mean, you look at the top three, Call it a triple main event if you want. There isn't a match to me that disappointed on the card. There really isn't. Just top to bottom, what a show. And then again, the main event, for the fact that it apparently lost, a good 10 to 12 minutes for a 12-minute sprint, because that's what this was. This was not a spot fest where it's like, holy shit, we're low on time, get all of our shit in. This was a sprint. I mean, Usain Bolt caliber. It was insane. Would it have been nice to see this match with a little bit of extra time and have everything, get a little bit more of an opportunity to breathe? Sure, but it was what it was. They went off the air with allegedly 3 seconds to go. Literally as the pay-per-view's ending, there's the fall, we'll see ya, and bam, cut off. It was kind of disappointing in that way. Of course, now, there's videos up of their speech afterwards and what happened afterwards. But yeah, just the fact that it was that down to the wire is insane. Apparently, the early word is that this was supposed to end at, what would it have been, 10:58 Eastern? And they extended it to 10:59, and had it not been at 10:59, they would have been that much more screwed. But aside from that one concern, which again, to me, really isn't a concern, at the end of the day, I got to see Kota Ibushi and Rey Mysterio in the same ring at the same time. This is pretty damn ridiculous. My point is, I'm going to end this video so I can go watch the show again and then fall asleep. It was that good. It was that good. And if you haven't checked it out, I highly, highly recommend that you do. In terms of shows, fun top to bottom, great matches, a phenomenal crowd. The production was on point. They hit it out of the fucking park. They hit it out of the park. And what this leads to in terms of events moving forward, who the hell knows? But, I mean, damn, they hit it out of the goddamn park. And it sucks because I can sit here and it's like, okay, I didn't mention this. I didn't mention, the fact that, hey, again, Cody ends up winning the NWA World title and all that. There's so many other details, so many other little things that you could point out, but just, it gets lost on you because there was that much good that came from this event. So with that, thank you guys for watching. You know the deal. Support the video, support the channel, get involved in the Fantasy League if you care to do so. If you're not interested in the NFL one, at the very least, again, remember that the NHL one will be coming. And again, that's going to be off of the Hat Trick Challenge, which is a pick'em style league as well. If you've never done the Hat Trick Challenge, very similar to this, where you get 3 questions a night. You answer it quick and easy, and again, it's easier than me saying, sorry, I don't have space in this, doing like a draft for, oh, you can join my fantasy league and then go through the draft. I prefer to do it that way. There's just not enough spots. I'm overtired. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you soon, hopefully.